Welcome back to today's video. Today I'm going to go over how to play the Ruy Lopez or the Spanish game with the white pieces. Now, I made a previous video on how the Ruy Lopez has a very big problem because you can just play the Schliemann or the Yanish against it and sort of destroy it. But obviously, like most things are in chess, without prep, without understanding your opening, you're not really going to understand the ideas of it. And also, the Spanish is not a bad opening. It's Magnus Carlsen's most used weapon in all his games, basically. He's probably his most, he definitely pioneered the opening, he's a big fan of it. In terms of opening theory, he hasn't, not to be misquoted or like start a hate train, he's not known for his super insane opening theory with Ruy Lopez. He's known for bringing opponents to territories with just strange openings on the first couple of moves, but I would argue that's not really opening theory because it's not really him having an insane amount of prep. It's him using his understanding of chess to outmaneuver these new, younger opponents. Now, like I said, Spanish game, great opening, very nice principled chess. And I'm going to show you just how to go through it, how to play it in just 10 minutes, and how to win all of your games. So here, Spanish game, you play this move e4, black responds with e5, knight to f3, knight to c6. He plays move bishop to b5. Now here, once again we're on Lichess. That was a really bad starter, but it's a very nice idea because you learn to trade off this. And here, black has a number of responses. The most common responses in the Ruy Lopez is knight to f6, as this Lichess error line shows. I left it on this video. I recording this the same day as I recorded some other videos. So once again, I'm just testing out, seeing what you guys like, which vibes you guys like better. If you want to see the errors off, or if you just want to see a return to chess.com, let me know. I told you I don't like the layout as much. I think this looks a lot cleaner to me, at least in the OBS recording. Just let me know. But anyways, here, the most common response is knight to f6. But there's other lines in it. I'm going to go through this knight to f6 line first, but there's other moves like pawn to a6, even this nice move, which is d6. I don't think it's too common of a move anymore. It's called the Steinitz defense. It's a very old opening, not really played as much, but definitely a nice way to catch your opponent off guard. And then you have like some just other openings like h5, which doesn't do much. h6 doesn't do much. a6, I mentioned that does a lot. This move, not so much. And yeah, you can just do this. Try to fianchetto. Honestly, if you're going to do anything, I would say fianchetto this. If you want to play some sort of offbeat opening. Or, you could just play a very strange move, which is this. Just giving up this pawn, because you're going to lose this. That's what you do. You can do this, and actually, you're not Magnus Carlsen, you're just some idiot. But anyways, back to the thing. This is the Spanish game, and here, computer wants this, and this is called the Berlin defense. Kramnik and I think Kasparov, I might be mistaken. It was definitely Kramnik, though. Big fan of the Berlin. Kasparov, I feel like played the Berlin a lot. Gonna be completely honest, don't really study a lot of Karpov games. I know that's a big sin. I'd probably be like 2,900 if I actually studied the Kasparov games. 2,900 online, obviously. I'm not Grandmaster. I never will be. That's just fact. I'm far too old to do so. But anyways, yeah. So plays this knight here, is Berlin defense, and it's very principled, but it's not seen as much unless you want to make a quick draw. I said this before. This is called the Berlin, the open Berlin. You play something like this, and you slide your bishop back. Takes. And this is just a very simple game. And usually you can get stuff like the Berlin draw. This is just the basic ideas of it. So just going through that move order again, you play e5, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to b5, knight to f6, short castle with the white side. Knight takes on e4, rook sliding here to put pressure on this knight. Then knight slides back to d6, and here you play knight takes, and you can take like this if you want, but it's a big mistake because you do this and you lose your queen, unless you want to play something like this. Either way, you're losing your queen, but that's just what you do. So this is actually a very nice opening trap that you can actually play, and you honestly might win some games at low elo chess, because people, you take back and people are like, oh, it's just a free bishop, and actually very nice just trap with the white Spanish. um but here, yeah, the best move here is just to block with this, and you actually slide your bishop back, and after knight takes, rook takes, short castle, and you play this pawn to protect it. And you're gonna say something like this, but this actually isn't that good because you just slide back, and you can't take that because of queen takes. Very simple ideas with the Berlin defense. Once again, though, it's not seen at the high level as much unless you just want to make a quick draw and get out of there. I think I said this in a previous video. I think the candidates that Gukesh won, it was seen a lot during those final couple of days. I think Hikaru played it, Vidit played it. I think Vidit actually plays the Berlin a good amount of the time. But yeah, you've seen it a lot in modern day chess because it's just sometimes you don't want to sit there. You just want a quick draw, especially if it's not going to matter for the tournament win. You just want to get out of there and just get a decent number of points, not a full win. I don't play e4 a lot because you run into lines like this, and I'm not a big fan of these quick draws. Obviously, you can make different things if you want to try to favor one, but most of the time the Berlin is a draw. It's just the truth. So yeah, I would say if you're gonna play the Spanish, play this move a6 with the black pieces, or play the Yanish. Very nice idea. Fleeman, you go whatever you want. Computers don't like it. Prague played it, so obviously it has some playability, even at the Grandmaster level. I think it's very nice. I think it's very aggressive, very much breaks chess principle, but that's just me. So here you play this move. Here a6 is the most common response. It's the Morphy defense. And the idea is that here black or white has two things. You can either take here, the exchange, and this is actually not too good with the white pieces. Computer says it's equal, but sure, you damage black's pawn structure, but you trade off a bishop. Bishop's worth more than knights. As you learn in the beginners of chess, Fischer famously claimed that knights have something about a 3.5 point material, while knights only have a 3 material. Knights usually in the endgames can be a little tricky to work with, but I would still much rather prefer bishops. Obviously, your advantage with opposite side bishops in endgames. Make a separate video on this in my endgame series, probably the third or fourth video of that. But it's the advantage is difficult to convert with opposite bishops, but it's definitely a lot easier to work with than just, especially in low time troubles, trying to get around a knight fork. Obviously, knight forks just keep. Let me just do a sideline real quick. Knight forks in the endgame, just keep your pieces on opposite colors. Easiest way to avoid knight forks because knights only see to the same colors. Very nice ideas. You see light squared bishop to dark squares will only go on dark squares, and vice versa. A knight on dark squares will only go to light squares. But anyways, that's enough of a sidetrack. Here, you can play the exchange variation. I wouldn't recommend it unless you have some sort of just like hatred towards these Morphy setups and you just want to undermine black center and get these nice pawns. But remember, you're gonna eventually have to break here because it's just. I mean, you can play this. You play this if you want, but this is a big mistake. This, and something like this, and now you have no pawns in the center. Your d pawn is not pushed. You have a knight that's trapped here. Black's just going to develop castle, and you're just going to probably get steamrolled. That's just the truth. So here, you go back to a6, and here the best move with white is to slide back to a4. Here, black has a number of moves, but most of them usually end up in the same line. You can either play b5 or knight to f6. The idea of b5 is to put your bishop here, and you're just going to develop and short castle. But I went over this in a separate video, but let's just go for it again. Knight to f6. Here, short castles, bishop to e7, rook to e1. Idea is simple. You want to gain control of this in case the center ever opens up. And now black plays move pawn to b5. Slide your bishop back here. extracting this. So here you just short castle to support this pawn, and this is called the closed Roy Lopez. Obviously, you have the open, which we showed before, but here white has a number of moves. Computer wants us to move pawn to a4. Very, I would say, yeah, Kasparov. It's an anti-martial attack, and I went over this before. The anti-martial is very much scary with the white pieces. It was popularized in the 2000s, but it's sort of fell out of modern practice because it's just people either know too much theory against it or they know too little theory. So it's not really seen as much. So you basically play this move a4 because you don't want a marshal. The marshal is very much scary, and yeah, it was Kasparov's choice. Kasparov loved the anti-martial, but yeah, here it's not. You see it a lot, but usually the line you see instead is he plays move c3, which is the closed main line, because this is the marshal. Just going over this is the marshal gambit. You gambit your pawn here, 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 here. Then you have something like this, 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 and this. This is what you basically want with the white pieces in the marshal. You play something like this, this. I think this is theory. Then you play this, 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 and this. And this is a lot of theory that I know with the marshal. Obviously, computer seems to agree with it, but this, like I said, the marshal is very much theory based. And to be honest, this isn't all the deep lines with the marshal. I know I told you I don't like playing e4, e5 a lot, but if I did, I would love to get the marshal. All of my games just super clean, very aggressive, and can filter out to like pretty sad endings. But it's just so satisfying to know. And let me just, I think, yeah, well, Engine says this. I think this, 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 this. I think you can give this check first here, breakthrough, takes, here, and I think here's the line that I like to play, but computer's just a mistake because check here. Yeah, it's check, mistake here because that, yep. Okay, so I forgot this move right here. I think this, maybe I got the order messed up. Yeah, that's what I did. I got the order messed up. I can't. Yeah, okay. I have to brush up on this line, but you get the idea. So, anyways, you have c3 here, and here actually, what a lot of people tend to play here is just the normal Morphe, which is just that you copy it. You avoid slight advantage, but you kind of never touch this martial defense. Obviously, you can put something like this and you do this. This just sort of transforms into a martial again, except you have your pawn on h3, protecting this g4 square. So that's sort of all there is with the Spanish. Your main idea is you just want to play principal chess you see developing. If you're playing this as a beginner, I would say try to play the Berlin because you can get that nice trap I showed you, and it's very much not a bad opening, especially at the lower levels. You're not going to get sort of cagey chess openings. You're not going to get these sort of aggressive draws with the Berlin, because at those, but under like the 2400 online level, even nobody's going to be trying to do the Berlin draw. Over the board's different because it just is, but online especially, nobody's going to be trying to just make a quick draw and get out of there unless you're playing a tournament. That's just all there is. With the Roy Lopez, it's very much simple. You just, simple idea, develop a knight, bishop, maybe maneuver your bishop, push your bishop here, short castle, bishop here. Obviously, this knight's very tricky to get out. I think in some lines you can try to do this sort of sodium, but not here. But you know, there's lines where you can play na3, and it's not bad. But that's all there is with the martial. It's very much simple. It follows basic principles of chess. I'm not going to go over the Steinitz. I think it's just objectively bad. Actually, I'll just go over real quick. You do this, this takes, and now you can't trade because this bishop blocks. You want to go here, then you're going to trade this, and here you go here to support your knight on e4 and try to get a nice fianchetto going, x-raying this. So this is double protected, so you want to trade this off, and you don't actually want to take back with the bishop here. If you take back with the bishop, not a bad move, but now you allow your queen to get here, and you're going to have long castling ideas. So instead, you actually want to willingly double your own pawns, get this nice L shape, queen here, knight here, bishop to h6 takes, queen in to prevent short castle, and knight here. You just want to slide your queen back. You don't want to go here because you're actually risking getting your your queen trapped, and this is sort of what the old Steinitz really waters down into. Same side opposites, sorry, same side long castle with this, and you see it's not a fun game. It's I think I like to play this move here in the old Steinitz. Then you do this. Computer liked this at first, but I think in the modern chess openings, this is the line that I studied a lot. Then this here, here, and then rook to d2, rook to g8, knight back, king here, knight here. Then slide the bishop back to cover this h3, square with your rook, and you just want to try to get this nice breakthrough. But you see, you actually don't want to take like this. In fact, if you take like this, you see computer says basically equal, but you have scary ideas coming on the h file with this pawn. So I would say take with the rook, push your pawn to c5, knight, king to c2, rook to e8, knight here. And you see this is not an enjoyable opening whatsoever, in my opinion. You can take because the rook blocks, but this just, it doesn't, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't seem good to me. Like, I understand that people like the old Steinitz, but to me, these are just people that, you know, you just get this perpetual check that you can do if you want to get a quick draw. But to me, that's a lot of moves. That's 50 moves of theory that it's not worth it. Just play the Marshall at the lower level. Or sorry, not the Marshall. Play the Berlin at the lower level. At the sort of, when you start to get actually good at chess, play the Morphe. Play these sort of cagey setups with the white pieces and black pieces, and just try to go like this and see what your black opponent plays. I think this is the best way you can play it. Kasparov of the anti-martial. I think anti-martial is scary because I don't think I actually went over it. Let me just go over it. The idea with the anti-martial is that you never want to allow black to play d5. So you play like this, knight here, and instead you willingly trade and you give black the open file. But now you're sort of going to argue that, okay, you may have the open file, but you're going to put this pressure on the e-pawn that's supported by this rook. You're going to develop your bishop here, and you're going to put your rook here and just get a full control of the center. It's kind of what you want in the Marshall. Now, perfect play is a draw. You can do this trade because you open up the black king, but you don't really have an attack on the king side because you're short castled with no pawns pushed. You don't have an attack. Your queen's traded off, so you're not going to be able to reroute it. You don't have a bishop. You kind of have the worst pieces to commit a king side attack right now. You can try to go something like this. But like I said, this is the idea of the anti-martial, and then you don't want to trade off. You want to sort of block, and you don't want to trade this way because you sort of give white a nice center, and you have just very not isolated, but they're not connected. So you need to go something like this here, here, and here. That's kind of how you want the Marshall defense. I said this will only be a 10-minute video. It's sort of 20 minutes, but you get the idea. Roy Lopez very in-depth opening. So if you like this video, let me know what other openings you want to see in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.